Hey, today we're talking about how to focus on the process when goal setting rather than the outcomes and some of the pitfalls you might run into if you're too focused on the outcomes. So, hey, what is up, family? My name is Mitch. If you're new here, I'm a coach. I help you create a life, job, and impact that aligns with who you uniquely are because you are awesome. Yes, okay. Now, some of the things I see a lot when, growing up in particular, when people were thinking about, hey, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to be? What do I want to, how do I want to design this whole thing? And people were often setting goals based on the outcomes they wanted. They wanted the financial wealth. They wanted the status. They wanted, a particular type of job because of what they thought they would get when they were at the top of their field. The image of the job and what it entails rather than the actual day-to-day of what the job is, And so that's kind of where I'm talking about the outcome. And so what are outcome goals? Outcome goals is like, I want to make $200,000 a year. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a manager. I want to have employed 5 people in the next 12 months. And outcome goals are really powerful. They give us something to work towards. We're motivated by them. When we see ourselves moving towards them, we feel a sense of achievement and accomplishment, and that's really powerful. But outcome goals are achieved by the process of getting to them. And if the process of getting to them is not enjoyable, if the process of getting to them is not aligned with your strengths, your gifts, your vision of what you want in your life, then the actual attainment of that outcome, is not worth the process of getting there. And outcome goals can be really good as well because they're sort of narrowing down our world. They're saying, I'm going to do this, and that's what I'm moving towards. And that can be really clarifying and, sort of narrow our scope down to be like, that's what I'm doing. And that can be fantastic. But there's, 2 main things I would say that can be a problem with outcome-focused goals when the outcome was the first layer of what you were trying to set when you were setting your goals. And so that's why we're setting our goals, and it's how we find satisfaction or fulfillment. And so, like I was saying before, particularly when I felt like in high school or when I was a bit younger, people seem to set goals based on the outcome or their idea of what they thought this lifestyle would be like to get a certain job or to have a certain, amount of money or to have a certain car or whatever it is, or a house or whatever the outcome was they were trying to achieve. And they set these goals probably based on, society's telling them that these are respectable things to go for, as well as their parents and, all that stuff. But we don't actually find that much fulfillment through hitting these types of goals. When you reach 200K, obviously making more money to a certain point does actually bring satisfaction, fulfillment, happiness to your life. But that's much less than a lot of people think it is. But outside of that, like going for these goals and the outcomes that you're trying to achieve, the process of moving towards them, that is fulfilling. We find that fulfilling moving towards our goals. And the process of actually hitting them can be fulfilling, but it's fleeting. After a day, a week, a month, you will return to that base level of satisfaction that you have. And so the outcomes are not actually that fulfilling in themselves, but eventually you will return to that base level of satisfaction. And so then it is not the achievement of this outcome that is what's going to bring you sustained satisfaction, but it's rather the moving towards it. So that is a good part of having outcome goals. And it's the process of moving towards it that is satisfying. So if you were trying to make 200 grand or you're trying to become a doctor because you think that's going to get you the things you want, but you hate the process of getting to there, then you're obviously setting yourself up for a failure. And so we're going to come back to why outcome goals can still be really powerful, but where you should start when you're thinking about how you want your life to be, when you're thinking about the things you want in your life, the starting point is not the objectives. It is not these outcomes to look at. The starting point should be the process. The starting point should be, what do I want to do when I wake up? When do I want to wake up? Who do I want to be around when I go into work or when I'm at home? What types of work are going to leave me energized? What types of people do I want to be around? What type of cause do I want to be working towards that is going to leave me feeling like that is, fulfilling on a day-to-day? How many hours do I want to work? All these things, but designing the day in the life of your perfect life, designing what you want your process of moving through your life to look like. And once you've gotten clear on the process, your day-to-day, then we can set really good outcome goals. Then we can still set, I want to reach 200K in the next, a year, in the next 5 years. I want to become a manager. I want to employ 5 people. We can still set those goals, but those goals weren't then the starting point. Because if those goals are the starting point, let's say reaching 200K a year is the starting point, then your attitude to how do I get that could be an expression of what's the fastest way, what's the most reliable way to hit 200K a year. It could be, to become a doctor or a lawyer, or it could be to trade stocks, whatever it is for you. But if you're starting with that outcome, your process of getting to it is not aligned in what you want to do with your day-to-day to get that. But if you're starting in, okay, what do I want my day-to-day to be like? What do I actually want the expression of my life to look like? Okay, cool. What are some good markers that I can set for myself to move towards the outcomes that I want as well, that are now grounded in the foundation of how I want to be living, of how I'm energized, of how I'm fulfilled. Another great thing about focusing on the process is that when we're so in love with the process, when we're so energized by the process of going through our lives, then reaching success can actually come quite easy to us. When we're loving the day-to-day of our work, we're more likely to want to get absorbed in that, to want to learn more about that, to want to get better at that. And it's a pull strategy. You're pulled towards those types of activities, and so you naturally get better at them. Whereas when we're trying to push our way towards something, we can still find success, but it is more of a conscious effort, which can still be done. But when we love that process of our lives so much, the success is like a natural part of it. One, the success is the ability to actually live like that on a day-to-day, but you will naturally get better at those things if you want to, through just loving that process. And so if you are looking to design your life, if you're at the end of the year now, you're trying to do your goal setting for 2021, you're thinking about your 5-year plan, all that good stuff, then I would encourage you to start with the process. Start with what you want to do on a day-to-day, how you're energized, the types of people you want to be around, the types of causes you want to work towards. All these types of day-to-day activities, and from there, set your outcome goals instead of the other way around. So I hope that has been helpful to anyone. Like I said, if you're in the stage of doing your end of year 2021 planning, I'm going to bring out a couple of videos on them in the next few weeks. So drop down below if you are excited for that and anything you want to see. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.